No.
Hello, can you hear me? Miss Maureen.
Hold on, I don't know if I'm muted. Okay, that should work.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Can anybody hear me? Not yes, you can hear me.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can't hear you, but you can hear me.
You can't hear me, okay.
Okay. I'm trying to make reservations for a class that I'm taking in California, a coaching class that I'm taking, and I can't, there's no place to change the dates. It's very bizarre.
Oh no.
I'm on a chat room, actually. I got 2 minutes. Hold tight.
Okay.
Marco, if you're there, can you turn your camera on so I can see you? I'd like to know who I'm talking to. I appreciate Margot's got hers, or Maureen's got hers on. I see Maureen. Pam! Pam is here. We got about 30 seconds before we jump in. Pam, can I see your real face? Not just your picture. I don't care what you look like today because you're always beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to my computer in just a moment here.
I can't hear you if you're talking to me. All right, it's 1 o'clock. Let's jump in. I really would love to be able to have this be interactive. So if you can make it so I can hear you,
Okay.
that would be fantastic. If you need to mute because there's noise in the background, that's fine too. Maureen, it shows that you're not muted. Can you talk?
Yeah, I just unmuted my, can you
Yeah,
hear
I can't
me?
hear you.
You can't
Under
hear
the
me.
mute button on the far left, you can click on it and test your speakers and microphones to find out if you can be heard.
Okay, hold on.
Marco, I hope you can be heard at some point. I don't think I know Marco. And Tam, I'd love to be able to hear from you guys too. I don't want this to be a talking head person. I would really love for this to be interactive. Hang on, let me get this off my screen. So Wendy,
We will also be monitoring the chat for you, Dayna. What?
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
But I can't hear you.
You still can't hear
I
me.
can't hear Maureen.
You can't hear me either. That's
I
weird.
hear you, Maureen.
You hear me? Okay, she can't hear us, which
My
is
speaker
weird.
is up.
That's you, Dayna.
Okay.
I wonder if this is something I'm doing wrong. Because all of you can't be wrong.
Because when Wendy and I
Really?
can hear each other,
Hang on.
I should put that in the chat.
Mhm.
Chat.
I gotta get my cyberbacker on.
Wait.
Although they
Wendy, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
It
Tam.
looks like you're talking, but I
Okay.
can't hear you. I can't hear
Mhm.
Wendy.
Huh.
Okay, if you can hear me, I'll just get started, but I really would love for this not to be a talking heads thing. So at some point, if you can jump in, that would be great. This is all about listing strategy, and I really appreciate that you guys are here. Anytime you want to argue with me about this, great. If you got some questions, just put them in the chat room. Wendy will find some way to stop me so that I can answer your questions. Just a little history on me. I've been with Keller Williams since 2006, been in real estate since 2004. I dismantled my team in end of 2017 and went to coaching. So I am coaching and, oh good, Jello's in. Jello, how come I can't hear anybody? Anybody that's talking, I can't hear them. What
You
have
know
I done
what?
wrong?
We can all hear each other, just not you, Dayna.
Hang on a minute. Maybe you got something in chat where I can see. We can all hear you, but Dana can't hear us. Check your audio settings. My audio settings.
I can't tell her in a chat.
I've been on Zoom all day and can hear everybody all day.
It's weird.
Check
I
your
can't.
output device. I don't know what that is. An output device. Speakers and headphones. Check your microphone settings. All right, speakers and microphone. Test the.
And speaker settings. Okay.
You can hear me.
Can you guys hear me now? I switched to my computer.
I can hear you.
I
Okay.
can hear Maureen now too.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Can you hear
Hi,
everybody?
we're all here.
Oh, it's a miracle.
Can you hear me?
I
Am I
hear
here?
you too, Jen.
Hello.
Yay.
See Marco's face. Okay, awesome. That is fantastic. And yes, you look beautiful, Tam. All right, as I said, I don't want to be a talking head on this. This is going to be about real estate strategies. And I do want to share there's really nothing new under the sun. Mega Camp, how many of you are signed up for Mega Camp? Aye,
I am.
Mhm.
good. Jen?
I'm not yet. I actually just messaged Rick about it this morning. He hasn't got back to me yet. I was just wondering about it. I have never been before, so I don't even know what it entails. How is it different to anything else that's been put on?
Gary Keller it's going to be different this year, obviously, because it's virtual, but
Yeah.
he takes the best of the best of the best of the best and has them share how did they get there.
Right.
It's 109 or 119 bucks. I don't know what it is now. It would be the best money you've probably spent this year.
And Gary said he told people, tell me something I don't know. And he was blown away by the stuff people are doing, and that's what they're featuring. He said, you're going to hear from people you've never heard from before.
Which is exciting. And
Yeah.
just to qualify that, it used to be years ago that Gary would just put people on stage that had done big business. Now, to get on stage, he has to see your profit and loss statement. Because you got to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk at the same time. People that with big dollars come in and they weren't making any money. It's like, no. That was a big discovery. And it was like, whoops. That's not good. So these are the best of the best doing, and because of COVID and all the strange turns things have made, I'm pretty fired up about what am I going to be able to learn and what I'm going to be able to share with my coaching clients. So let's talk listings, all things listings. Why have listings? Somebody just share.
I think for me, I'm noticing just starting, I think it's probably more important to get listings than get buyers, especially with the way the market is right now.
Yeah.
And I'm frustrated because when you're new and you're starting off and you don't have a big name behind you or the recognition, the way to kind of put yourself on the map would be to get a listing. And so I've been working on it, but hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Maureen, why do you think it's important? What's important about having a listing as opposed to working with buyers?
Well, I think that if I had a listing, I could be advertising that listing. It would make me look a lot more legit. I could be farming that neighborhood. I could be having open houses where I could be getting leads to more buyers and more listings. I think it would just start jump starting everything.
Absolutely true. Sam, what can you add to that?
I just want to challenge that thinking because there's lots of agents who don't farm their own listings, and I'm sure they'd be happy if you farmed their listing and marketed their listing for them. Anything that's been on the market for more than 7 days, you could reach out and ask the agent if you could market their listing. Just as a thought, but for me, being almost 7 years in now, it's getting my time back. It's leveraging marketing for sure, leveraging the marketing piece when you do have a listing, but I can maintain my life the more listings I have and the less buyers that I have, because I get so imbalanced and stressed out, especially in this market with all these buyers, because they're time consuming. So for me, it's a big time managing my life. The more listings I have, the more I'm able to manage my life, because buyers take a lot of time.
That's one of the keys right there. It's getting more balance in your life. The second one is every listing should bring you at least 2 more deals. Just because what you said, Maureen, I can advertise it, I can farm to it, I can talk to people about it, you can do open houses in it. And to Tam's point, you do not have to have your own listings.
Okay.
Behind you, you have the name Keller Williams, Lake Minnetonka. We are a big name.
Mm-hmm.
So please don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
You work with an amazing team,
Mm-hmm.
top real estate agents in the nation, in the state, in the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's your script.
Okay.
All of us were new at one point. And the best thing ever was the fact that we were with Keller Williams, because we work with an amazing team.
Okay.
And I have all kinds of great support.
Okay.
Who are those support people? Wendy, Trey, the front desk person, Tam, me, anybody that's been doing this for more than 2 years. We are your support.
Okay.
So don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
The really great thing is you can have a contract with a listing person and with a listing home, and you can be lying on the beach and sell a house. Been there, done that. When you sell about 100 homes a year, you're selling a home about every 3 days, roughly 2, 3, 3.5 days. And anytime I went on vacation, I sold properties. It just got to be a joke. Dana's going on vacation, we're going to sell a property. So that time factor is huge. The other thing is, what do you want your price per hour of your salary to be? Think about listing a home. Jen, how long does it take you to prep, do the listing presentation, negotiate an offer, negotiate the inspection contingency, check in once a week with your clients, go to closing? There's about 6 parts to that.
About a fraction of the time it takes to deal with my buyers right now. Because I think my last one, not my last one, the one before, wrote 6 offers and saw 34 houses or something ridiculous. I know, but that was my learning. That was my learning one. That's when I realized that was not happening again. So, but yeah, no, a fraction of the time, because I've got a listing as well, and that was the amount of work that's gone into that has been minimal compared to
Yes,
the buy side.
it is minimal.
And it's like almost like between 8 and 5 that I can deal with that as well, and not having to deal with it and juggle kids in the evening and on the weekends with that stuff. It's all stuff that can be dealt with during office hours.
That is so true. So Gary Keller has a triangle. Who knows what the triangles, what the 3 L's are in the triangle?
Leads, listings, leverage.
Leads, you need leads to get listings, and he doesn't say listings and buyers. And once you have listings, you've got the leverage of your time, and you've got people that can do a lot of that listing stuff for very little money once you grow your team a little bit. Transaction coordinator, which gives you more time to get more leads, to get more listings, because now you have leverage, and it's a beautiful vicious circle. Now that doesn't say we don't work with buyers. Of course we have to work with buyers. Maybe. There are some agents out there who only do listings, and they leverage all their buyers. If you found somebody that you thought was a phenomenal agent that represented you the way you wanted to be represented, that would treat your clients the way you wanted to treat them, you can very easily have a business partner. So like I just referred one to Tam. I was at physical therapy. They were beating the crap out of me. And I said, let's talk about something that's interesting because you're hurting me and I want to distract myself. I tore my rotator cuff and had surgery. So she said, oh, what do you want to talk about? I said, let's talk real estate. She goes, oh, well, we want to buy a house. I didn't even feel the pain after that because we started talking. I said, well, my business partner, Tam, she lives up in the area that you're looking. I'll get a referral fee, and all I did was tell them about my business partner, Pam. If you are, again, a single mom that's got kids, it is possible for you to run a business that is only listings. That doesn't mean you don't get referrals off of those buyers. If you think about a 25% referral off a buyer and you've done nothing, you have 34 homes, Jen, that just breaks my heart. The time to set up the showing, find the listings that you're going to show, set up the showings, drive to each of those showings, show the house, do the feedback, make the printed copies of everything you're going to do, write the offers. Oh my gosh, you're talking probably 60 hours of time, where a listing might be 8 to 10. So why listings? Leverage and money and more business. Listings will cost you a little bit more money because your upfront costs of the pictures and the staging and all that. Typically out of pocket. Well, Tam, what do you spend out of pocket just to list a home? Hard cost, roughly.
What do I spend?
Uh-huh.
Let's just say it's my average price point. I want to say, I want to say $1,000.
That's pretty average. Yeah. Between $1,000 and $1,500 out of pocket before you ever get paid. Would you exchange $1,500 for 60 hours of your time back? Yeah. That does not mean you don't work with buyers, because buyers, when you've well, not in this crazy market like Jen said, six offers and no house, that's kind of painful. Anyway, this gives you the opportunity to get more business. And how does that more business come? So you mentioned open houses. So Maureen, when you do an open house, what do you do to prepare for your open house?
I've only done one.
Okay, what did you do to prepare for it?
So I had the list report done about the neighborhood and that kind of marketing material ready. And then I also had a sign-in sheet created to ask them if they were already working with an agent. I had my business cards. I had to get the signs in advance from the office to put up. That's about it.
Okay, great. How many of you recognize the shift book?
I don't have that. I have.
They've got one in the office, Maureen, that you can probably borrow or just take a look at. Okay. Write down page 71 in the shift book.
Okay.
This is taking open houses beyond the basics. I heard Gary Keller say, if you're not going to at least level 5 in an open house, don't even waste your time doing it. Like, oh my, because I did kind of like you, Maureen. I just kind of went out and stood there in an open house. How many people came out to your open house?
3.
Did you get any business out of it?
No.
Okay. Tam, page 71. If you look at that list up to level 5, it says put a sign in the yard. Everybody puts in a sign in the yard, but when do you put that sign in the yard? What is that sign? It's a rider. You're advertising the open house is coming. Open house Sunday, 1 to 3. You can borrow one from somebody if you don't have one. Open house Saturday, 2 to 4, whatever it is. Get that up there so people know it's coming.
Okay.
Level 5, second step, sign in the yard with balloons and riders. Well, now that it's the day of the open house, balloons pop. I like to say go to Amazon, whatever, Walmart, dollar store, and find those pinwheels. You know, you blow on them as a kid and they spin around. They grab people's attention. They don't pop. Just tape them on your sign. Directional arrows at all the key corners with balloons and riders. Not all of you probably know Carrie Schmidt. She's in the Maple Grove office. She and I started real estate at the same time. 9 children and was homeschooling and doing real estate. I'm not worthy. She kind of owns a lot of Maple Grove. One of the ways she does it is she puts 30 to 40 open house signs out for every open house she does. Say what? What does that do to people who drive by and see all those signs?
Grabs their attention.
Say it again.
I just said it grabs their attention.
Absolutely. Who is that, Carissa or Julie?
Yes, this is Carissa.
Hi, Carissa. Can you guys put your pictures up so I can see your pretty faces?
I can't right now, but I will next time.
Okay. Yeah, it grabs people's attention. That's one thing. Have you ever heard the term perception is reality?
Yes.
People will perceive that you're way more busy than you actually are. If every week you were doing open houses and you put sign after sign after sign after sign up that's got your name on it, and Maureen, eventually you'll have signs with your own names on it, which would be awesome. They start to assume and presume that you are an amazing real estate agent that's got so much business, because somebody's going to turn down one corner and see your sign. Somebody else is going to turn down another corner and see your sign. And if you've got 40 signs out and you've taken them out 1.5 miles, 2 miles out, dang, you look like you're amazing. Level 3, or the step 4, flyers the week before, email invites and post on websites. Obviously a KWLS will shoot it out to all the websites. Flyers the week before, what does that mean? Who are you giving flyers to? Anybody know?
Neighbors, kind of in that neighborhood.
Neighbors are one, absolutely. And got to know, this was written a long time ago, so we can really add to that. That basically you're going to let all the people in your database know that you're doing an open house and invite them to come to the open house. Perception is reality, whether it's your listing or not. Pretty soon these people are going to start saying, hey, I'd love you to come out to see my open house. I actually would have friends pop out because they're in the neighborhood just to say hi. They perceive you're super busy. It doesn't matter whose name is on the sign outside. They may just assume that's the rainmaker and you're the listing agent. Let them assume all they want. So email invites, Facebook ads, the flyers, you're going to go knock on the doors. On level 5 is a minimum of 100 door knockings. What? It's COVID. I can't knock on anybody's door. They'll get my germs. Well, I had a guy knock on my door the other day. He rang the doorbell. I was in the office so I could see him, and then I watched him back up, and he stepped right off my front porch. I still hear everything he said. He was more than 6 feet apart. I had no problem with that. He was a political ad guy. He was coming around. Why do you want to go invite 100 neighbors? What do we know about when one listing goes on the market?
Neighbors get curious about the price and they might be interested in listing too, but do we need our solicitor's license to knock on the door?
There are some cities that require that, and it's, I think, fairly easy to get. Wendy's nodding her head. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, be careful. It says no soliciting. Don't knock on the door.
And, you know, in certain neighborhoods, if it is required, you can get a peddler's license sometimes for the year. So if it's an area that you really know that you'll want to be out in a lot, whether it's doing things like pumpkin giveaways in October, or, you know, something, seeds in the spring or something. You might want to get one for the year, or you might just want to get one for 48 hours.
Yeah. And what's a good script? What's a good conversation to have with somebody? What's your purpose for being there? Ann, you got something you use often?
So this is something I really like doing, which I didn't think that I would like very much. And then Sam and I have done it too. And, you know, so we keep ours fairly casual, but we definitely, we're inviting them over to the open house. We're letting them know that it's listed. I say, hey, we've just got your neighbor's house listed right over there. We usually kind of keep it light, but we're definitely inviting them over, take a look at it. I always kind of like keep it light. Like, don't you want to see what the inside of your neighbor's house look like? And then you can kind of see what might your house be worth based off what we listed it on and stuff. So, and then we're always kind of funny too, is like, hey, stop by, invite your friends, because this is your chance to pick your neighbor. And if you don't like that person, don't invite them to the open house. And they always laugh. So yeah, and then we drop our information with them. They almost always take it. And we've had people stop by at the open house because we walked out and invited them, because they might be a turn down or something, they might see it the day of if they're driving around because of my directional signs, but it gives them a heads up. So we try to do it several days out from the open house.
Absolutely.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, but we're definitely inviting them over and asking them, talking about the value of their home if they're curious, just to see what their house is worth.
Absolutely. I'm going to add to that. The last thing I always say to them at the door is, I tip my head like a puppy dog and say, by the way, what are your plans for a move? It's one of my favorite statements. By the way, what are your plans for a move?
Yeah, that's really good you point that out. I kind of go into it a different way. So I usually will say, hey, we're trying to figure out where our target market is coming from. You probably know it better than anyone. Where did you move from? Then they always tell me where they moved from, which has been very helpful. And then I'll usually say, and if you were going to move again, where would you go? And then we kind of start the conversation that way. But it also tells me, where's everyone coming from? Because sometimes I see a pattern and then I'm like, okay, I need to go door knock that neighborhood then, because they're all coming from the east side of Brooklyn Park or something.
I love that. I'm going to use that. Thank you, Tam. That's great sharing. Yeah. When you ask them the question, where'd you move from? Whatever, where would you move next? You do always want to ask that final question. What are your plans for a move? Or when would be the perfect time for you to move? Because here's the deal. You might find out that they're next June, when their last kid is getting out of college, they're ready to downsize. Or my husband's going to be relocating in January. They're not thinking yet, I should be moving right now. That's not even in their brain. But when you start bringing it up, you may have a nurture now. So what would be your next step, Jen, I don't know Carissa, I know Jelena, and I don't know Marco. What would be your next step if somebody said, in January, my husband's probably going to get transferred to another company and we're going to be moving. What would you say next?
What would I say next?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I might ask them if they have an agent that they work with, who they're used to working with, or if they know someone. If they don't, I'd say I'd be happy to help them with that, I suppose. And then I'd probably put a mark in my diary so that I would follow up with them. Even if they said they did have someone they worked with, I'd probably still follow up with them anyway.
Okay. Can I plus that just a little bit?
What's that?
Can I plus it just a little bit? Because I love all of that. Go for the appointment right then.
Oh, right.
You know what? Why don't we do this? I've got to go put some more signs up for the open house. I do have my phone right here, though. Has anybody even shared with you what your house might be worth or what you need to do to get it ready to sell? 99% of the time they say no. This is an open house strategy too. Your goal of an open house is to make an appointment. The goal of door knocking is to make an appointment of some sort. So, let me look at my calendar. I know you're a few months out. That's no big. It always takes people longer to get their home sold or get it ready than they think it's going to be. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just go ahead and, let's see, I've got Wednesday available at around 3 o'clock. Does that work for you? They say no. Well, what's best, mornings or afternoon? Go for the appointment. Get in the door somehow. If it's a year from now, great. Gosh, when you're that close to moving, make it seem close. When you're that close to moving, you probably want to keep track of what time or what the market's going to be doing. I've got a great once a month email I can send to you that'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on in your neighborhood. You'd love to have that, wouldn't you? This is a language of sales thing. You shake your head as they're saying it, and they just will shake their head right along. You'd love to have that, wouldn't you, as a tie down? Sure you would. Of course you would. Why wouldn't you want to know what you're going to be able to sell your house for in a while? Hi, Dayna. Good to see your face.
Hi.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I've taken the class through MAR, but I still don't feel confident with creating a CMA.
Okay.
Do you know of another resource that I could, I mean, because if you're going to make an appointment and say I could do a CMA of your house, I want to feel confident that I know what I'm doing.
Girlfriend, we got you. Next Tuesday, Paige Amelli, who teaches this for our Ignite class all the time. He's amazing. He's really good at it. He's going to be teaching that next Tuesday at 1. So we got your back.
I've got it written down. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Okay, and to add to that, if you're not feeling confident,
Mm-hmm.
and I've taken a lot of people with me, you can say, my business partner and I would love to come out and sit with you. And your business partner is Tam, it's Jen, it's Rick Brahma, it's somebody, to get your feet wet. Typically they'll split it 50-50 with you. You know, you get all the residual business that comes from that, but you are getting to walk through it with somebody and watch them do it.
Okay.
My business partner, have somebody that you've already made an agreement with that, hey, if I get a listing opportunity, I'm scared to death to go out there. I have no idea what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Would you come with me? Wouldn't you rather have 50% of something and learn how to do it really well than nothing? Yeah, I'm sure Trey would probably be more than happy to go out with you too.
Okay.
So that's.
Can I add something, Dayna?
Yeah.
Which is why I love our office specifically, not just Keller Williams at large, which I also love, but our office specifically. So I of course learned from Dayna because I look up to her. So I think the same thing, just set the appointment. And she told me something a long time ago that I had to be productive before I could be a perfectionist. So I would just say, go just so recklessly into planning appointments in my thoughts, and don't worry about the planning behind it. Because if you get on the phones today and somebody wants to go on a listing appointment with you tonight at 7 o'clock or tomorrow at 10, just call me, call anybody in the office and say, oh my gosh, I have this listing appointment in 5 hours. What do I do? Or tomorrow. And I'll stay up and help you prep and do a CMA. Like that's, and everyone in the office has been that way for me too, you know. So don't wait to ask the questions, just ask them and let the answers show up, and then we'll figure it out. Like just call one of us. If Trey, of course, if he doesn't answer, then you can call one of us or somebody else right away. And that's the thing. I've done this, right? I've said, oh my gosh, what do I do? Help me. Even now when I run into a weird situation, I do the same thing. So yeah, don't let that be a reason to stop you, right? If you don't know how to do a CMA, because you'll just figure out how to do one really, really fast.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like you have resources. Your team is like what Dayna said. It's reach out Trey first, and then if he's living his life like he deserves sometimes, then just call somebody else in the office, right? Call one of the ALC members. That's why we're here, and we'll get on FaceTime. We'll figure it out, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. And you can fake it till you make it really well. Jello, do you have the pre-call script? That's something that you can post on our chat line. I'm sure he does. Jello is my business partner in the Philippines, and there he goes. There's our pre-close questionnaire. Everybody click on that, and it's on the chat room, and save it somewhere. And then I'm gonna ask you all to raise your right hand and promise that you'll never go on a listing appointment without doing this entire pre-call script. Okay. Because this is going to give you all the ammunition that you need to know how to proceed in a listing presentation. It will give you the price they think it should be. It'll be the price they won't go below. It'll give you the reason why they're selling their house, why it's important to them. Kelly and I put this together after we did 90 listings in 90 days, and then the Dayna Kokoska pre-qual from Bold. We just kind of formed it all and put it all in one fell swoop.
Dana, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Do you kind of like go through that line for line? Because I understand that when you do something like that and you've done it 20 times, it can come across more like a conversation and you can just write stuff down and it's seamless and everything. But see, when you're starting off, I kind of feel like with these things, it's so choppy. And I feel like such a, an amateur. But if you're going through that stuff, I mean, do people generally still, are they okay with that?
Absolutely. And so I made an appointment. Who's that cutie pie with the big brown eyes?
Thanks, honey.
Okay. I would hide him for another 10 years. Gonna be a handsome kid. Anyway, I literally read it. I literally read it because they're on the other side of the phone. So here's how the script goes. So, hey, Jen, I'm so excited that I'm going to get to sit with you and share with you how I can get your home sold for the most money in the shortest amount of time so that I can be more prepared and save you time. I've got some questions I need to go through with you. Do you have an extra 10 minutes? It's going to take 20. Just tell them 10. Sure. Great. If they don't have time, say, so that I can be more prepared and save you time, like I said, when would be the best time for me to call you and get 10 or 15 minutes of your time? Get on the schedule. If you cannot get out there before the listing presentation, print it off and literally bring it with you. If you go to the doctor's office, does the nurse have a list of questions that she hands you to have filled out?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you look like a professional when you're asking very detailed questions to someone?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you think Jimmy Fallon, what all these people, do you think they have scripts?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're sitting reading it off the teleprompter. Don't let that stop you. This will give you, and I would go through it now, but we'll go through it another time perhaps. This is a half an hour call just in itself to go through each line. And actually, I've added a lot of things to this. And hang on a minute, I gotta move this over here. I don't know if this is the one that, oh, thank you for the raster. Gosh, I didn't have that. And I was looking for somebody's number the other day. That is fantastic. Jello is in the process of rewriting this. So it's got all the extra questions that I ask because I go a little deeper on some of this as I'm doing it. And hang on, I just lost my form that I was using that had all my great information on it. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Jello, can you send me the link to that again? My sheet, oh no, I bet it's right here. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm looking for my script, all my notes that I took. Jello, shoot that to me again, would you? I can't find my notes on the listing thing. I just closed my window and it disappeared. Technology, I'm not great with. All right, so let's just to backtrack. So listings, we want listings because it brings us leverage, and leverage can be time, and it brings us more money because we can get more business off of it. You want to do open houses so that you can absolutely, hang on a second. Did I lose Jello? No, it's at the bottom. Jello, are you still there? I need my notes. You want to be able to do the open houses so that you can get more business from it. Tony Sarampa told me this many years ago. He said, Dayna, what's the goal of an open house? What do you think the goal of an open house is? Anybody?
To get leads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get leads, and actually the absolute goal is to make an appointment. So every person that walks in the door, you want to try to make an appointment with them. That's the true goal of an open house, to make an appointment. Hang on, seriously, I lost my entire note.
Don't ever say that to Rick Brahma though.
Okay, so let me qualify that, and this is the next step in that Rick would tell you. Especially now because there are so many cameras in homes. People have cameras, they have microphones, you can't see them, you don't know. Your goal is to sell that house. If somebody's coming in, you're doing everything you can to help them buy that house because you're representing them. If for some reason they're not going to buy that house. Your goal is to set up an appointment so that, and doing your fiduciary duty, so that, sorry, what notes are those? Sorry, Jules, the listing strategy thing. What up the thing that you sent me earlier? I just can't find where it is. For this appointment, for this class, sorry. Your goal is to make sure that you sell the house in any way you can, and if you can't, then you make an appointment with them so you can help them find a house. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Nope, not that one. Sorry. Two conversations going on at the same time. I apologize, guys. Seriously, I clicked off and my whole notes went away. My whole big thing that I had. The notes for the listings, the listing strategy that I'm doing right now. Nope, not that either. Nope. I'm sorry, you guys. And this is why we love. No, you gave it to me for the notes. Oh, I didn't. It's called listing strategies. Isn't this crazy? I'm having a conversation with somebody you can't see. I think I found it here. Listings, why? That's what it's called. Why have listings? There we go. So sorry, guys. All right. Let's just kind of move on. We know why listings are really great. So how do you, once you sit down with somebody, well, let's not go there because we're going to run out of time. Where do we find our source of listings? Here's a question. Is there really anything new under the sun when it comes to where do you find listings? Raise your hand if you've had a listing before, or shout out, yay, I have. Okay. Jen, where did your listing come from?
All three of mine so far have come from friends. So basically my sphere.
Okay, your sphere, which is your database. Tam, where did most of yours come from?
A large majority is sphere and open houses.
Okay. Jelena, have you had any listings yet?
Yeah, both of them have been from my sphere.
Ooh, I hear a trend coming here. Carissa or Marco, anybody else?
Nope, I haven't had any yet, but I do plan on selling my own home soon.
There you go. You're your closest friend. That's fantastic. Gary Keller will tell you that your business is your database and your database is your business. This is something I've heard from the first day I was ever with Keller Williams, and it's true. Right now, because of all the do not call stuff, it's getting more and more difficult to do expireds and for sale by owners, canceled listings. Number one, it's hard to find numbers. Number two, they're on the do not call list. I've got a guy that has a triple dialer out in Virginia, one of my coaching clients, and he'll dial 400 dials and get, like, he says 5% is about his return now, that because people are going back to work. That's like 8 people. And he's got some nurturers that have eventually turned into that, but it's not quick business. So I'm not going to tell you anything that no one else is going to tell you. Because the truth is your database is where you're going to get your business from. Who's got that 500-pound telephone that's hard to pick up to call the people that you know and care about and love? Anybody?
Oh, I had it for a long time. It's not as heavy, but it used to be really heavy.
What got you over that, Tam?
Oh, I don't know, going to Bold enough times, they forced it out of me.
They can force it
now
out.
I pick up my phone all the time. I was like, I'll just call them. I'll just call them. I can't text. I'll just call them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The greatest piece of paper I think I've ever seen in all of Keller Williams is the DTD2s. Do y'all know what that is?
No.
Do the database too.
Database too. I think it's public knowledge now because I believe it's on the internet that you can find it almost anywhere. Do the database too. So basically what it is who do I call today? And it's by weeks. And you call 2 letters of the alphabet. And what it prevents is what we call bias. Because I can flip through my phone right now, and if I'm supposed to call everybody in my database, I'd go, oh, I don't really like them. I'm not going to call them today. I don't like her. Oh, I like Tam. I'm going to call Tam today. And I call Tam. Problem with that is 3 months later, when I'm calling people again, Tam's laughing because you do this, don't you? Yes, yes, she's laughing. So this is the beauty of DTD2s. So one of my coaching clients was out in Washington. I got this text message with all capitals, lots of exclamation points. I did it. I said, I'm gonna just call this person. I know I don't even know who they are, and I have a listing appointment this week. Because what she did, see Jen, what she did was she said, okay, today I've got to call the B's and the E's. It's by last name. And she called them. She didn't want to. She didn't know who they were. And son of a gun, she had a listing appointment. I believe she took that listing. I could be wrong. Anyway, that's the beauty of it. DTD2s. Can
I share something?
Please.
That made calling my friends way easier was Bold 2.0, so not Pivot, but right before that we did Bold, and we had a script from our coach, and I still have it, so I should find it and share it.
Please.
But it was to go through your phone, and not necessarily like what's in your database, but the last time I looked at my phone, I have way more numbers in my phone. If you have an iPhone, you can scroll all the way down. I have 1,654 phone numbers in here. So he said, you need to pick up your phone and call everyone that's an A, even if you don't know who they are. Because, you know, I'll have like Mike from this random place. And he gave me a script to call these people to, one, weed out, like clean out my phone. And that made calling my friends way easier.
And what was the gist of the script?
So the script was, it was definitely about calling, saying like, not necessarily acting like you knew them. I should find it. It was definitely calling in a business sense, like, hey, this is a business call. This is Tam Langen with Keller Williams. And just calling to see, you know, we're calling around to see what people's trends are with their home buying. If you were going to move, when would you be looking to move? Or what would that pattern look like for you? Then they would say something like, well, Tam, and he gave us different scenarios. Don't you know who this is? Like, why are you so businessy? And he's like, you may not even know who they are. And I was like, that's frightening because I might not remember them. And that happened. And then it was transitioning. I was like, I don't know who this is. And then the transition into, you know, they might say, I don't even know who you are. How do you have my phone number? Oh, your number was in my phone. We must have met somewhere. I bet it was with real estate. Do you have a realtor? And it was coming back really, and I'm not good with those abrupt questions. I've gotten a lot better in challenging me to then turn around and just say, oh, I bet we must have met something with real estate at an open house, or we were talking with friends about real estate. Do you have a realtor? And if they say, you know, yes, it's like, well, would you like to have a second one? Or, you know, and the same thing with following up about the monthly email, which I wrote down as a note, because that's a way to provide value that's really easy, and then you get their email and their address. So it was challenging there, you know, because I got everything under the sun. I had no idea what I was going to get when I called. And that made calling my sphere way easier because I had no idea there were people that remembered me and I didn't remember them. So that is embarrassing.
That's okay.
And then how do I turn that into, can I get their email and can I get their address? Because I already have their phone number.
Right, and here comes the challenge. So I'm going to add to that too, and thank you for going there because that's something I wanted to talk about. I have over 1,700 email or phone numbers on my phone, and I can tell you I probably know 200 of them. On your Facebook page, let me back up. The goal of your database is to grow your database. I can guarantee you already have enough people in your database to do a very good business. They may not be in command because they're on your phone or they're on Facebook. Just exactly what Tam said. Hey, this is Dayna Murray. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. And you know what? You're in my phone. And for the life of me, I can't figure out where we must have met. Did you need a real estate agent sometime? Or was I meet you at an open house? I mean, just act as curious as can be. And they may just say that, Dayna, I was your massage therapist for 5 years. Like, oh my gosh. I'm such an idiot. Just blame it on yourself. Be goofy. Well, while I got you, how are things? And go right into Ford. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Just get casual. Be as goofy as you possibly can. It's okay to say I've screwed up. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. You're right. I can't believe I didn't recognize your name. You know, I've got 15 Marines in my phone and I just never associate your last name. So how the heck are you? Well, you know what? Now that I found you, what are your plans for a move? There's my favorite line again. What are your plans for a move? Oh, I don't have any plans for a move. No worries. Hey, now that I've got your name and number, I've got this amazing text app that Keller Williams has. So you can keep up to date on everything that's happening in the market, no matter where you are. I was in Arizona. I pulled up, I could see a house. It was awesome. I was in Washington. I pulled up, I could see houses there. Would you be offended if I just texted that to you right now? No problem. Great. Well, it's great to hear from you. I'll tell you what, was I in your phone? Did I come up in your phone? And then they go, no. Well, let's do this. Go ahead and put my name in there and just put Realtor Dayna. Because you will probably forget my last name. You may even forget my first name. However, you'll remember the Realtor. So go ahead and put me in as your contact as Realtor Dayna. Then if you ever have any real estate needs, you know, I know painters and carpet people and cement people, please use me as a resource. Would you be okay if I just checked in every once in a while? Great. What is your email, by the way? I might as well update my database. I want you to not be afraid of this. I want you to think of it. I'm calling a friend. I just don't know they're my friend yet. This might turn out to be your best friend. It could be your husband. It could be, who knows what it is. All right, database is huge. The DTD2s will get you through all those people. Pulling every phone number you can out of your phone, just like Tam said, just go through every phone number on your phone and add them to your database. And just a hint on adding things to your database into Command, just grab a piece of paper and write their phone number down, write the notes down to it, go to the next one, write their phone number down, write the notes to it, go to the next one, write their name, whatever. Write your information on just a pad. And then all at once, some evening, some after school, you're watching a movie or whatever, put them all into Command at one time. The one thing talks about when you task switch, because there's no such thing as multitasking, you lose 4, 5, 14 minutes every time you task switch. So if you're making a phone call, writing the notes down, pulling up Command, getting it on Command, and going back and making a phone call, I guarantee you it's going to take you a lot longer, and you're going to get out of a rhythm. When you've just had a fun phone call, make another one. When you've just had a crappy phone call, make another one. And never be offended by it. All right, database is huge. Database can also help you because you can make phone calls around events. Joe is going to share with you it's a 36-touch Excel spreadsheet. I'll put it on the chat too. I got this from another coach and I think it's phenomenal. How many of you know what 36 touch is? Everybody, Joanna. Yeah, it used to be, oh crap, I just did it again. How did I do that? Oh, I found it. Sorry. I'm quickly on things to find other things. This is a 36 touch calendar. Now, I took a whole class, Michael Mayer did this, and it is 7 levels of communication. He's fantastic. What he talks about doing is let me back up. Sorry, talking in circles because I'm looking at the time and I've got a lot more stuff to talk about. People have a hard time picking up the 500-pound phone because they're not sure what to say. If you have a reason to call them, it's much easier. So Michael Maher, I don't know how you say it, because I've got a Matthew Maher who's a client. If you have events throughout the year, and you really only need 4 of them, you're touching base with your clients 4 times around every single event. And it gives you a reason to call them. And it's kind of like this. Did Jello put that up on the link? It's a 36 touch event planner. It's an Excel spreadsheet. Did that come up? Anybody tell me? Is it on the chat line?
I see it.
The map, right?
Okay. Thank you. It's the second one. Okay, good. So if you look at this, open it up and look at this. The part that I think is really wonderful is the second end of it. It says event, save the date, invite, RSVP, and post event. People get all freaked out about, oh, I'm doing an event with my client, it's going to cost me a whole lot of money. No, it doesn't have to cost you a whole lot of money at all. You can do all kinds of different things. And Jill was going to also share with you a list of events that we pulled off of the Mastery Facebook page, the coaches Facebook page. I went and Googled just events, and all kinds of people did, all things people did. We'll just send that to you so you've got it too. So here's what you do. Yes.
Are you finding that in your coaching world that people are using online events like Reverse Bold 100s, those kind of things? I know Tony Baroni's canceled all of his regular in-person events in favor of those. Are you finding that those are being effective using this same schedule?
Some of my clients have not been doing them. Some are actually still doing some events. One is doing, she's a great cook, so she makes soup. So she can do soup with 8 people. And she just does soup with them. And so she calls 8 people. It's a great way to just kind of get out. You did not share those. Okay. He's got the client event ideas that's going to be on that link too. Just take a look at it. I'm hoping that things are going to open up. We can do this. One of my clients actually did a Top Golf, which is kind of pricey, but he gets the booths for free. I haven't been there yet, whatever. He gets the booths for free, and then he just provided a little bit of snacks for him. Another guy I was talking to, he does the exact same event every single month. He does happy hour with the realtor. He goes to the same bar every time. It's an IPA bar where they get a brewery of some sort, and I'm not a beer drinker. And he gets literally different people every time. But he calls through his database, and here's what you do. So on the first call, it would sound something like this. Hey, Wendy, it's Dayna Murray. I'm just going to be sending you out a save the date. We're going to be doing a fun event next month. We're going to have a happy hour with Dayna, and I'd love for you to come. I just want to let you know the invite will be coming next week. Put down September 26th. It's actually my 60th birthday, so I'd like to celebrate with everybody. Would love to see you. Everything okay with you? Great. Anything you need that I can help you with today?
Not today.
Awesome. All right. You have a beautiful day. Bye. How long did that take? Seconds. And that's just what it is. It's a, hey, I just want to save the date. So that may be like 6 weeks out. A couple weeks later, ding, ling, ling. Hey, Wendy, it's Dayna Murray. I sent you an e-vite. By the way, we used to do handwritten invitations. They get lost. The stamps didn't work. I came back, wrong addresses. E-vites are just easier. Just do it. Don't waste your money. I'm going to send you an e-vite out. Did you get it? Or I sent the e-vite. Did you get it, Wendy? It's for the happy hour with Dayna. Great. If you didn't get it, if they say, no, I missed that. Great, I'm going to send it again right now. Click. Do me a favor. Can you RSVP so I know how many people to count on? A couple weeks later. Hey, Wendy, it's Dayna. I'm just checking in to see if you're going to be able to make it. I didn't get an RSVP back to you. I don't know if you're busy, but would love to see you. Bring a friend along. I mean, it's not this fast, but you get the idea. Now you've made 3 calls to somebody every couple weeks. It can also be by text. If you can send out a broadcast text, you can make it a heck of a lot faster. You can do the slide dial like Kevin does when he dials all of us. Hey, it's Dayna Murray. I'm going to be sending out an invite next week. I want you to save the date. We're going to have a fun event. We're going to have a Christmas party. Would love to see you. Santa's going to be there. Balloon animals. We're going to have snacks, pictures with Santa, all that good stuff. Hope you come. So you're going to make 4 calls. The last one is the post event. 3 before the event and 1 after the event. Wendy, it's Dayna Murray. It was so awesome to see you at the event. I know we didn't get a chance to talk as long as I'd love to have talked with you, but I just want to say thank you for your support. Or, Wendy, I'm so sorry you couldn't make it to the event. We really missed you. It was a lot of fun. We're going to be doing another event in a couple of months. I'll be sending out the information. I hope people make it to that one. Would it be easier to pick up the phone if you had a reason to call everybody? So let's just process this a minute. You have 4 events a year. You're calling 4 times per event. How many times are you touching your clients? What is 4 times 4? There's 16 of your 36 touch. What's great about this, at the beginning of January, you can figure out what events you're doing for the whole year. You can go ahead and put the dates on the calendar. Save the date, the invite time, the day you're going to call those, the RSVP day you're going to call them, the post-event day you're going to call them. If you look at the other side of that form, monthly calls, you can put your DTD2s in there if you want. Who am I calling week 1, 2, 3, 4? Monthly email. I'm going to set a market update. Let's get that set up. That's just going to go automatically. Or if you're going to make it specific to a certain thing, who's going to be in charge of doing that? Monthly emails going out. A monthly mailer. A lot of these you can easily just, once you make enough money, red light, green light, you can easily have that done for you. Or free, except for the postage, but you can also email it. On the MLS, you can do a market snapshot of what's happening in their neighborhood. Pull up their address, takes a little while to set it up. You can set it up one time, have a recurring every month, once a month. That email with their neighborhood is going to go out. The actives and solds for that year. What has happened in your neighborhood? That's a freebie. Now you're touching them at least once a month. Plus you're calling them 4 times per event, 4 times a year. And can you call 1,000 people? Probably not. You want to figure out who your core advocates are. In the middle of the MREA book, somewhere, is a circle where it shows you're going to take your METs all the way down, or the non-METs. Here we go, page 137. I didn't have a tab, but I found it because it's been open enough. You've got your general public, your non-METs, that would be your farm. Then you've got your targeted group, your haven't METs, who that might be, who knows. Then you've got your MET group, and you want to get them all the way to your allied resources. Well, the people you really want to invite to your events are probably your MET group. Your probably top 200 people, because you can easily, and I do mean easily, call through 200 people in a very short period of time when you're calling about an event that quickly. Database, database, database. Now, golly, we got 3 minutes left. I got a whole nother list. Where else do you get listings? Just listed, just sold. That's door knocking. You're using similar script. By the way, what are your plans for a move? Yeah. Hey, my name is Dayna Murray. Thanks for opening the door. I just want to tell you, we just listed a property down the street. 123 Main Street. Chat with him a little bit. What are your plans for a move? Do you know anybody that might want to buy the house? Pick your neighbor, not your nose, just like Tam says. Just sold. Hey, thanks for opening the door. My name's Dayna Murray. We just sold a house down the street. We know that when one house sells, often 2 more sell. And you know, we have leftover buyers. So I'm just curious, who do you know in this neighborhood that might be thinking about selling? By the way, what are your plans for a move? Door knocking, open houses we talked about. Some people talk about a farm. A farm is a time over task. How do you pick a farm? I'm just going to give you this answer. You want to find an area that you want to market in your price point that you would like to be in. If you want your average price point to be 300, 400,000, pick a farm that's that much. You don't want a farm that's 100,000. Costs too much and you're not making enough money on it. You want to make sure it's an area that has 6 to 8% turnover per year. How do you figure out that, Dan? Well, you just pull up your MLS. You start in January from 2018 to December 2018. Pick up an area, how many houses are in there, and how many sold. If you want to go to the tax records, you can sometimes figure out that, okay, in this neighborhood, Bridlewood neighborhood or Green Tree neighborhood or whatever the neighborhood is, you can go up the tax records and they'll show you an Excel spreadsheet of how many homes are in there. Now, how many sold? Just divide it and figure out, was it 6 to 8% that year? Do a couple years in a row. So you do 2018, 2019, 2020. If it's not 6 to 8% turnover, it is not worth your time. This is going to take you time. It's like going to a shop, go shopping somewhere where they don't have enough products for you to pick from. The other thing you want to make sure is that somebody doesn't own that farm. What I mean by that is, as you pull up all the homes that have sold in that neighborhood, do the short version on your MLS, see if the same name is coming up over and over and over and over and over again. Perception is reality. Whether it's legit or not, even if their house is never sold, people think that they're the agent for that neighborhood. 6 to 8% turnover, no one owns a farm. And it's going to take you anywhere from 12 to 18 months to get any traction in it. That's if you're actually spending time in it. When I say spending time, that means you know every house that's in there, you're door knocking in there, you're sending out flyers to it, you're sending just postcards to it, you're dialing on it, you're doing the open houses in it, you are spending time in that farm. I roomed with a gal at Family Reunion Mega Camp something from way up in Canada where it's really cold, colder than here. In her entire business, she had no marketing budget at all, was door knocking. I'm like, doesn't it get cold there? And is it cold most of the time? She goes, oh yeah. But I know that neighborhood so well and they know me that it's so good to see you, Dayna. By the way, Susie says she's going to be moving next year. You should call her. Pretty soon people know you that well. Let's go. Expireds. More difficult with expireds right now. Gary Keller's not pushing it. He's all pushing database right now. However, if you pull up your MLS, every day properties expire. If you're going to do expireds, you have to do them. And you have to do them every morning. Early bird gets the worm. On the 1st of every single month, on the 31st and the 1st of every single month, 31st because a lot of agents don't realize not all months don't have 31 days in or 30 days in it. So lots of them will expire or cancel their listings or their contract will end on the 30th. So on the 31st and the 1st, you want to have those names, those numbers, and start dialing. And you should be dialing at 7:59. If you're not going to be dialing at 7:59, somebody else is. Don't even bother. Cancel the same thing for sale by owner. You need a follow-up system for that. That is usually anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks where they will suffer through and try to sell it on their own. And you want to be touching them every single week. Hey, this is Dayna. Is there anything I can do to help you? Hey, this is Dayna. I'm just checking to see how your open house went. Hey, this is Dayna. Have you had any offers yet? You're the nudge every single week. Facebook ads, I know you guys have done classes on those. I do have a couple clients that are still working with Zillow and Realtor.com, very expensive. One is spending $500 a month, and he said they've got about 30 deals off of it for the year. Nice return on the money. And you got to jump on it right away, because if they're dialing your number from Realtor.com, they're probably dialing other numbers too. So if we break this all down, it all comes out to the most important three of all. Database, database, database. Questions, thoughts? I know we're past time, I apologize. Has this been helpful at all?
Very much so.
Good.
Yes.
Good. You guys, I'm an open book. You got questions, ask me. Anything?
Thank you, Dayna, so much. This has been super helpful.
My
I
pleasure.
saved the chat thread, and I will email that out to everybody. So it has all the links in it.
Thank you.
Perfect. I love that. All right. Go out and sell something. Goals to make an appointment. Get listings because they sell fast. And Christy did that class on what are the 4 ways to convince people to sell their house, because I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to sell my house. I to buy one. Excellent. Use her format. I know Wendy got it.
Yep, it's in the YouTube channel, and it's also been posted to our Facebook page. And the PDF that she created, we put in the files on our Facebook page, so you all have access to all of that.
And she didn't even brand it. I mean, it was,
Nope.
she was so gracious to do that, because I'm sure that took her some time. And it's the only one she didn't have on there would be number 5, would be take a line of credit on your current house so you can pay cash for the next house. And that's only if you have enough equity in it. And there are people that are able to do that. So that's if you're tracking with me. So if you have a house that's got a whole lot of equity, you can take out a line of credit on it before you put it on the market. And they'll give you usually up about 80% of the value of your house. So then you can turn around and just pay cash for the next house. Or have enough down payment if you can qualify to pay for both of them. And then turn around and sell your house. That was the only one that wasn't on there. Okay, gotta go. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dayna.
Thanks, Dayna.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Jello.